For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live.
Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to talk about Mars in 7th house. We are going to discuss two situations here. If Mars is well placed and making good yogas, then what kind of good results it can show. And second, if it is badly placed, afflicted and making doshas in the 7th house, then what kind of negative results it can bring. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is shown in the description. So we are going to talk about Mars in 7th house today. So we are going to start with first condition, that if Mars is good and strong. By this I mean that Mars is, let's suppose, in own sign or in friendly signs or in exaltation sign, and the zodiac sign in which it is sitting, the lord of that sign is well placed in the chart. And apart from that, Lagna Lord, Moon and Sun are well placed, because they are the controllers of entire chart. No matter how good your other planets are, if Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are weak, the other planets cannot give any kind of results. Their potential gets reduced a lot. So if Lagna Lord, Sun and Moon, no matter what planet you are seeing, you need to see them all the time. So whether it is Mars or any other planet, you need to see them because they govern the strength of the entire chart. So if Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are well placed and Mars is making positive yogas in the 7th house, then it has capability to bring a lot of good results in life. Like in 7th house, Mars can make person ambitious, because see, 7th house is 10th from 10th. 10th house is the house of career and it is 4th from 4th. So 7th house is a very prominent house, because 7th house is from Bhavat Bhavam concept. Like from 4th house it falls in 4th place, and from 10th house it falls in 10th place. So it's very important for marriage and family also, and for the career and societal reputation also. So Mars in 7th house, if it is well placed, then it can make person ambitious. And particularly Mars and Sun seek power and authority. They do not seek only money. So Mars is like a planet of royal nature. So the thing here is that it makes person more driven towards power, position, reputation, status, authority in life. So ambitious, no doubt, but more driven towards power and authority rather than money. It does not mean that these people don't want money, but the thing here is that Mars and Sun, majority of the time, they seek power and authority and control. That is their nature. Then apart from that, 7th house is the house of other people and public. So in this case, for a person, no matter how much they deny, if Sun and Mars are in 7th house, most of the time person will seek out social validation, and it matters to them a lot. Even if they deny that, what can you do? But the point here is that it is very important for the person. Mars and Sun are your self-confidence, and they give you a sense of self-worth, that I am doing something worthy in my life. If other people are justifying or praising you, that yes, what you are doing, it's important and it's meaningful. So in this case, social validation matters to a person. And another point, Mars in 7th house can give positive aggression. Positive aggression, it's not like a person who is angry all the time or frustrated or very short tempered. They can be, but not immature. Mars in 7th house, if it is strong, it will never make person immature. It will make person who is somewhat assertive, stubborn and rigid sometimes, but positive, healthy aggression will be there, where you are relentless, competitive. Once you make your mind, you never go back. It makes person quite dominating, assertive, and gives a lot of fighting spirit, and it also makes person tough. That is what Mars in 7th house can show. Another point, Mars in 7th can make person passionate towards anything, whatever their passions can be. It depends from chart to chart. It can be any area, but Mars shows that Mars is a raw form of energy. So that depends from chart to chart, whether in which direction that energy is flowing, but it generates a passion towards certain thing. It can be in art, it can be in towards career, it can be in any other field, but it gives that. Another point, Mars in 7th makes person controlling and dominating as well. whether passively or actively, that can vary, but it gives that kind of tendency. Another point, it is a very good situation for having or getting into leadership roles. It provides leadership skills to the person, and it is also a situation which helps the person to become successful and victorious over struggles and enemies. We have to see the yogas. If Mars is strong, most of the time it helps the person to become victorious and successful over and by overcoming the struggles or any kind of obstacles in life, or any or winning over enemies of any kind. That is a good situation of Mars in 7th, and it's very suitable for certain areas to work in, like for law or government or management and administration, or for STEM fields, science, technology, engineering areas. It is good for creative fields. You need to see yogas for that. Other combinations how they are, but Mars in 7th house, generally if it is well placed, it can take a person in this area. Public service is good, social welfare is favorable, police is supportive, law and order, police is good. So these are certain fields which are considered naturally beneficial for Mars in 7th house if it is influencing the career. And it can also show business, self-employment or business, if such combinations are existing in the chart. Then 7th house, Mars gives high lust in the body, because 7th house is the house of genital organs, and it is the house of opposite sex. So the thing here is that Mars increases that, so it gives the high lust in the body. But if yogas are good, then it shows a person who is not philandering around, not like that. For that, yogas are negative, means Mars in 7th house is bad, or other yogas are negative, 7th lord Venus, they are afflicted, then that happens. But it does not mean that a simple what you can say level of lust, if it is high, it does not mean the person is going to be of loose character, not like that. Mars in 7th house can show that yes, naturally it increases the sensuality in the body. But if it is strong and 9th house or Jupiter are well placed, it is not considered bad for marriage or relationships. Because if Mars is well placed in 7th and other yogas, you need to see other yogas for marriage. I'm not just basing on the placement of Mars here. You need to see other yogas for marriage. There are many other important planets other than this. You need to see Tithi Lord, 7th house, Navamsha chart, many things. But if yogas for marriage are good, then it shows that Mars in 7th house is considered healthy for a long-term sustainable marriage, because it generates trust, loyalty, commitment, duty, responsibility, and it works for the continuous survival of the marriage. Because Mars and Saturn are what? They never back down. That is their nature. They are not the planets which leave the things in between if they are bad. If they are good. If they are bad, then they won't do that. If they are good, they always what you can say fulfill. They are action oriented planets, they always fulfill their duty. However, Mars in 7th house will generate a protective possessive nature. It will be, that is the nature of Mars. No matter how much good it is placed in 7th, it will bring a nature of possessiveness. It can be on the healthy levels also, but yes, Mars has that capability to induce that possessiveness in relationship or marriage. And it makes person controlling, sometimes dominating and overbearing at the same time, and authoritative. Another point here is that it is good for having a good supportive partner. You need to see other yogas, of course. And another point, 7th house is a Marak house. Marak house means it is a malefic house. So Mars can be good at the same time, good or bad at the same time for different things in life. Let's suppose it is good for your career and marriage, but bad for your health. So you need to see that, okay, 7th house, it's a good house also, but it is a Marak house also. So it can create damages as well. So what are those areas where it is hampering? You need to see the chart and totality. That will vary from person to person. Then Mars 7th house is 4th from 4th. So 4th house is land, home and property. 7th house placement of Mars and 4th house, if it is good, what is it is excellent for having land and properties and joint assets with the partner or individually as well. It is very good for building assets, land, properties, vehicles, all those things in life. So these are good results of Mars in 7th house, and it is a good situation for what? Prosperity in life, which the person has earned. That's the good aspect of Mars. Now, if Mars is weak and afflicted, so in 7th house, Mars can make Mangal dosha, because 7th house is a placement of Mars being in a Mangali situation. So if Mars is damaged, like it is debilitated, no Nij Bhanga is happening, it is in close conjunction with Rahu, Sun, Saturn, Ketu, 6th, 8th, 12th Lord, 7th Lord is badly placed, it is in enemy signs, and it is badly placed in Navamsha chart, and the Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are not good. The more these situations will be, the lesser Mars will be good. Means the lesser Mars, the more Mars will lose strength and the more negative it will become. So it can bring a lot of negative results as well. I will tell all the things, treat them as a source of information, nothing more than that. See the chart in totality, then arrive at some proper conclusion. So if Mars is weak and bad and afflicted and making bad doshas in the 7th house, then it can bring a lot of negative results depending on the chart. It can increase anger, immature anger. It's like a person who is excessively short-tempered or has a short fuse, always angry all the time, frustrated, irritated, jealous, cunningness, selfishness, stubbornness, rigidity, fragile ego, excessively possessive, controlling, insecure, distrusting, hateful, vengeful person can be seen. It can induce violence and cruelty and sadism and abusive tendencies. A person who can commit abuse or who has suffered abuse, that depends from chart to chart. Then it increases the lust in the body manifold, but now the expression of lust will be very unhealthy. It can show illicit affairs, many what you can say, relationships which don't survive, or no relationship at all, or abusive violent relationships can be seen. It is really bad for marriage and relationships. It can create all sorts of problems in that. No happiness, fights, violence, divorce, separation, extramarital affairs, no trust, no commitment, toxicity, disloyalty, loss of assets or loss of money through relationships, any kind of problems, legal problems, any kind of problem. That depends from chart to chart. So as I mentioned, you can see the contrasting result. Mars in 7th house, if it is good, it is extremely good for marriage. But although it tests the patience of the person, but if it is bad, it will wreak havoc in personal life. That is Mars in 7th, if bad. Then another point here is that it shows it can create, if such yogas are happening, it can create loss of reputation, because 7th house is 10th from 10th. 10th house is your career and reputation, name and status. If 7th house is damaged, 10th house is damaged, Mars and Sun are weak, then it can create loss of reputation, loss of name, allegations, legal problems, troubles at workplace, issues with people at workplace or peers or any kind of people at workplace. Then people who do business, it can show business failures. If 7th house Mars, let's suppose somebody enters in business and Mars is bad, it will destroy you in the business itself. Then it's bad for health and life, because 7th house is Marak. Let's suppose it is making bad yogas for health, it is making bad yogas for longevity, and such dashas are going on. It can show health problems or longevity issues or any kind of troubles to life as well. You need to see the chart, don't jump to conclusions immediately. In 7th house, even if Mars is bad, what will show, even if the person somehow gets some power or authority, nobody will respect them. Nobody. Once they leave that position, they are the most hated people in life. So the thing here is that is 7th house bad Mars. One example which comes to my mind right now, Hitler. Adolf Hitler has 7th house Sun, Mars, Venus, Libra ascendant, 7th house Sun, Mars and Venus in Aries. So he is a classic example of really bad Mars in 7th house, even though Mars is in own sign. But the problem here is that his ascendant lord is really bad. Venus is extremely damaged. That is why I say you don't have to just see a blind thing that, okay, Mars in 7th house in own sign, excellent. Not like that. You need to see how Lagna Lord, how Sun and Moon are. If they are well placed, they will control the strength and strength of the entire chart, the behavior of the entire chart. If they are not good, other planets cannot give good results. So these are the negative results of Mars. So you can see that there are big contrasting features of a same planet in the same house, but if it is strong, how much good results it can bring, and if it is bad, how much bad results it can bring. So you just have to look at in that way. And once you see other planets, how other planets are, what other yogas are, and then you see the thing overall picture, then you arrive at a proper conclusion. So my job here is to tell you the things so that you just can understand, okay, how one planet can show or behave. But in some cases Mars can be really good for all the things, in some cases it can be totally bad, in some cases it can be good and bad for or mixed results can be seen, good for something, bad for something. So that is how you have to check the chart. I hope you would have understood how Mars can behave in 7th house. That is all from my side today. If you are new to my channel, subscribe below. For more, check on my website, Facebook page and Instagram. Otherwise we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.